Hey everyone, I'm Brendan Kelleher. Despite the huge financial and critical success of Star Wars The Force Awakens in 2015, the overall story arc of the sequel trilogy, which Disney created, was disjointed and lacked a cohesive vision. There was no clear plan for the trilogy as a whole, leading to abrupt shifts in plot and character development between films. This was particularly evident with the character of Rey, who seemed to undergo major changes from film to film, without an explanation as to why. This lack of consistency also caused many fans to feel disconnected from the story and characters. Additionally, constant reliance on fan service and nostalgia was a major downfall of Disney's Star Wars. Rather than introducing fresh ideas and new characters, the Star Wars movies of the Disney era relied too heavily on references to the original trilogy.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I understood that reference.
While this pleased some fans, it also resulted in a lack of originality and creativity, as well as disappointment from those who wanted to see something completely new. Disney's handling of the extended Star Wars universe also caused further problems. After acquiring the franchise, Disney declared much of the previously established universe as non-canon, causing frustration for longtime fans. While there have been certain aspects of Disney's Star Wars that were successful, it is clear that there were significant issues with the way the franchise has been handled. From the lack of a coherent vision to the over-reliance on nostalgia, many fans are left feeling dissatisfied with the result. Kathleen Kennedy is mostly to blame for all this, from her not-so-secret agenda to turn the franchise into a platform for activism, to her complete and utter incompetence as a producer, with multiple projects being announced and subsequently scrapped due to creative differences with writers and directors. However, since I like to keep things positive on this channel, and proving that even a broken clock is right twice a day, I thought I'd highlight 8 positive aspects of the Disney Star Wars era, because I couldn't think of 10. Number 8. Boba Fett gets his armor back. Boba Fett's appearance in The Mandalorian Season 2 Episode 6, The Tragedy, was a significant moment for Star Wars fans. The character has been a fan favourite since first appearing in The Empire Strikes Back, and his return was long awaited and highly anticipated. The opening scenes of the episode showed us the Razor Crest landing on the planet of Tython, with Din Djarin and Grogu on board. This is when we see Boba Fett for the first time in the season. Boba Fett was seeking the return of his lost armor. This quest brings him to Tython, where he witnesses a conversation between Din Djarin and Grogu regarding the Jedi. Boba Fett's reaction to this information is telling, and it sets the stage for his brief alliance with Din Djarin. Boba Fett's appearance in his classic armor instantly brings with it a sense of nostalgia, reminding fans of why they fell in love with the character in the first place, and his attitude echoes the character's reputation as a ruthless bounty hunter. We quickly learn that Fett is more than capable of backing up that reputation, and his battle with the Stormtroopers makes for an impressive display of his skills. This is something all Boba Fett fans have wanted to see since his first appearance in The Empire Strikes Back in 1980. Before that, he was just relegated to just standing around and looking cool, but it's here where we finally see what he's capable of, as he just obliterates a small army of Stormtroopers. Overall, Boba Fett's return in The Mandalorian was a momentous event. He brought excitement and nostalgia to the Star Wars universe, but his appearance also added depth to the character by revealing more about his past and motivations for pursuing his lost armor. It's just a shame that his own series, The Book of Boba Fett, was pretty much a waste of time. A case of one step forward and 2 giant steps back. A common theme with Disney Star Wars. Number 7. Solo, a Star Wars story. Solo, a Star Wars story, tells the backstory of Han Solo, the iconic smuggler who was played by Harrison Ford in the original Star Wars trilogy. Directed by Ron Howard, Solo is a thrilling and action-packed adventure that introduces new characters, explores Han's origins, and tells the story of how he became the legendary hero we all know and love. The movie takes place several years before the events of the original Star Wars film, New Hope. The storyline begins on the planet Corellia, where Han Solo grows up as a street urchin. We see him struggling to survive and doing whatever it takes to stay alive, including stealing and scamming others. However, his spirit of adventure and his desire to escape his grim existence leads him to team up with a band of smugglers. Together they plan a heist that they hope will pay off big and get them out of their miserable lives. As the heist unfolds, they encounter a young and beautiful woman named Kira, who Han has known since childhood, and has an intriguing connection to the criminal underworld. Before long, Han is swept up in a much larger adventure, one that involves double-crossing crime lords, giant tentacled monsters, and the all-encompassing shadow of the Empire. Along the way, Han also meets Chewbacca, the furry Wookiee who he will form an enduring partnership with. And of course, Lando Calrissian, the dashing gambler and owner of the Millennium Falcon. Despite the unenviable task of following on from Harrison Ford, Alden Ehrenreich brings plenty of charisma to the role of Han Solo, perfectly capturing the character's swagger and roguish charm. Donald Glover's portrayal of Lando is spot on, and his scenes with Han are particularly noteworthy. Emilia Clarke delivers a subtle and nuanced performance as Kira, a character with a mysterious past and a complex relationship with Han. Solo is one of the more underrated entries in the Disney Star Wars era. There are many scenes of thrilling action, including a high-speed chase through a crowded city, a heist on a train hurtling through snowy mountains, and a chaotic escape from a dangerous mob boss. While the action is intense, the movie is also filled with moments of humour, primarily between Han and Chewbacca, that give the movie some lightness and warmth.
Since when do you know how to fly? 190 years old? You look great.
Overall, Solo, A Star Wars Story, does an excellent job of giving viewers an exciting glimpse into the life of one of the franchise's most beloved characters. Unfortunately, it was released only a few months after the extremely divisive Star Wars movie The Last Jedi, with the common belief being that Solo's box office suffered to the previous movie's fan backlash. Which is a shame, as I'd like to see more standalone adventures with this version of Han and Chewie. Number 6. Jedi Fallen Order. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is an action-adventure video game that follows the story of Cal Kestis, a former Jedi Padawan who survived the events of Order 66, which was the Emperor's order to execute all Jedi. Cal now lives in hiding and works as a scrap collector on the planet Bracca. However, when he uses the Force to save a friend, he attracts the attention of the Inquisitors, who are hunting down any surviving Jedi. Cal is forced to flee from the Inquisitors, and with the help of new friends, embarks on a mission to rebuild the Jedi Order. Throughout his journey, he travels to various planets, completes missions, and faces off against dangerous enemies with lightsaber combat and the use of the Force. One of the standout features of Jedi Fallen Order is the gameplay mechanics. The combat system is similar to the likes of Dark Souls and Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, with a focus on blocking, dodging, and precision strikes. The game also incorporates puzzle solving and platforming elements, which adds variety to the gameplay. Another key aspect of the game is the storytelling. The narrative is well crafted, with a strong focus on character development and emotional storytelling. It also ties into the wider Star Wars universe, including references to events and characters from the films. The graphics and sound design also deserve praise. The game is visually stunning, with detailed environments and character models. The sound effects and score are also faithful to the Star Wars franchise, and add to the immersion of the game. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is a fantastic addition to the Star Wars franchise. Its compelling storyline, challenging gameplay, and stunning graphics and sound make it a must-play for any Star Wars fan. At the time of this recording, its follow-up Survivor has been released, which I haven't played yet. I'm waiting for them to fix the bugs. Number 5. The Siege of Mandalore. The final 4 episodes of Clone Wars Season 7 was meant to provide closure and tie up some loose ends after the show was abruptly cancelled back in 2014. The final episodes lived up to the hype and provided a satisfying end to the series. In the first of the final 4 episodes, Old Friends Not Forgotten, we see Ahsoka Tano reunite with her former master, Anakin Skywalker. The episode quickly jumps into the action and sets the tone for the rest of the season. The animation and fight scenes in this episode were fantastic, and it was exciting to see Ahsoka and Anakin working together again. The second episode, The Phantom Apprentice, focused on Ahsoka and Maul's interactions. The episode was filled with tension and had some intense fight scenes. Dialogue between Ahsoka and Maul was very enjoyable to watch, and their shared goal of taking down Darth Sidious helped humanize Maul's character and makes him somewhat more sympathetic. The third episode, Shattered, was the most emotional of the final 4 episodes. We see Order 66 finally get executed, and the tragedy of the moment is highlighted by our attachment to the clones and the characters that we've grown to love throughout the series. The music and animation during these scenes were excellent and added to the impact of the moment. The final episode, Victory and Death, wraps up the season and the series itself in a very satisfying way. We see Ahsoka and Rex try to escape the clone troopers who have been turned against them, and the episode had some very suspenseful moments. The ending scene was especially poignant and emotional, as we see the clones bury their comrades. Overall, final 4 episodes of Clone Wars Season 7 were incredibly well done and provided a fitting end to the series. The animation, fight scenes and music were all top notch, and the emotional moments hit the right notes. It was satisfying to see loose ends tied up, and the character development was handled well. The show's legacy is secure, and it remains one of the best animated shows of all time. Number 4. John Williams. If there's one thing that unites all generations of Star Wars fandom in agreement, it's the amazing musical scores by John Williams. Williams is one of the most iconic composers of our time, having created some of the most memorable and recognisable scores in film history. His music for the Star Wars sequel trilogy, which began with The Force Awakens in 2015 and concluded with The Rise of Skywalker in 2019, is no exception. In The Force Awakens, Williams reintroduces the classic Star Wars themes, while also incorporating new motifs for the film's characters. The main theme for Rey is a standout, with its combination of determination and mystery. The Resistance theme is also memorable, capturing the spirit of the rebellion against the First Order. Williams also introduces a haunting and ominous theme for Kylo Ren, a reflection of his conflicted and unpredictable nature. In The Last Jedi, Williams continues to develop the themes introduced in the previous film, while also introducing new ones. Williams also creates a sense of majesty and nobility with the theme for Luke Skywalker, which perfectly captures his character's journey in the film, despite how controversial it actually is. Finally, The Rise of Skywalker sees Williams bring all the themes and motifs of the previous films together for a grand and emotional finale. The film's main theme is triumphant and epic, signaling the final battle between the Resistance and the First Order, and the theme for Kylo Ren is developed further as he begins to question his allegiance and makes his own path. Throughout the Star Wars sequel trilogy, John Williams demonstrates his mastery of the art of film scoring. His music perfectly captures the themes and emotions of the films, creating a rich and immersive experience for audiences. His themes for the new characters complement the classic Star Wars themes, making the music of these films an integral part of the franchise's legacy. It is a testament to Williams' talent and skill as a composer that music for the sequel trilogy stands alongside the original trilogy as a beloved and essential part of the Star Wars universe. Number 3. Andor. Cassian Andor was first introduced in the 2016 film Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. He was a member of the Rebel Alliance who was tasked with retrieving the plans for the Empire's new superweapon, the Death Star. In the movie, Andor is portrayed as a skilled and resourceful agent who is willing to do whatever it takes to accomplish his mission. Star Wars Andor delved deeper into Cassian's character and explored his origins. Set 5 years before the events of Rogue One, the show follows Andor as he goes on a series of daring missions. The show also features returning characters from Rogue One, such as Mon Mothma and Rebel insurgent Saw Gerrera. One of the most exciting aspects of Andor is its focus on espionage and undercover operations. The Star Wars franchise has always been known for its epic space battles and lightsaber duels, but the series Andor takes a different approach, highlighting the more subtle and covert aspects of the Star Wars universe. In addition to exploring Cassian's character, the show sheds light on the early days of the Rebel Alliance. We get to witness the formation of the rebellion, as well as its struggles and setbacks as it fights against the Empire. This gives a new perspective on the rebellion and its members, showing the Alliance as a group of flawed but determined individuals fighting for a noble cause. Overall, despite a slow pace, Andor is a grown-up and mature entry in the Star Wars universe. By focusing on the character of Cassian Andor, the show explores the more subtle and covert aspects of the Star Wars universe. It is by far the best of the Star Wars Disney Plus shows. Number 2. Luke Skywalker's Return. In the Season 2 finale of The Mandalorian, fans were treated to the return of one of the most beloved, if not the most beloved character in the Star Wars franchise, Luke Skywalker. The Jedi Knight who played a major role in the original trilogy made a surprise appearance to save Grogu and take him under his wing. Luke Skywalker's return was a nostalgic moment for fans who grew up with the original trilogy, but it also had significant implications for the future of the Star Wars universe. Luke Skywalker is believed to be the last remaining Jedi, but his appearance in The Mandalorian proves that he continued to fight for the light side of the Force. Luke's return also adds more depth to Grogu's backstory. We know that he was trained by the Jedi before the fall of the Republic, but with Luke taking Grogu under his wing, there was potential for further exploration into his past, and the events that led to his separation from the Jedi Order. Luke's appearance also reinforces the interconnectedness of the Star Wars franchise. The Mandalorian takes place several years after the events of Return of the Jedi, and shows how the events of the original trilogy impact the future. Overall, Luke Skywalker's return to Mandalorian was a thrilling moment for fans, and a significant development for the Star Wars franchise. Unfortunately, like Boba Fett's return, it was another case of one step forward and two giant steps back, as Luke's return and taking Grogu as his apprentice was completely undone in 2 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett, where the latter's show was taken over by the Mandalorian. Personally speaking, I think Disney looked at the toy sales for Grogu and demanded that the series creator Jon Favreau reunite them ASAP. Number 1. Rogue One. Rogue One, a Star Wars story, is a standalone film that takes place between the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy. The film is set just before the events of the original Star Wars movie A New Hope, and it follows a group of rebels who undertake a dangerous mission to steal the plans of the Death Star. The plot seamlessly ties into the larger narrative of the Star Wars franchise and adds new layers to the existing story. The audience is provided with a glimpse into how the Rebel Alliance obtained the crucial information that later helps Luke Skywalker and his companions destroy the Death Star. Characters in Rogue One are a complex set of individuals, each with their own unique background and skills, coming together for a common cause. The lead character, Jyn Erso, played by Felicity Jones, is a strong-willed protagonist who's trying to find her place in the galaxy after being separated from her family at a young age. Her determination and resolve to do what is right make her a compelling character to follow, unlike Rey. Another aspect of Rogue One that is worth mentioning is the film's visual effects. The action scenes, space battles, and planet landscapes are stunning, making the movie a visual feast. The visual effects used to create the Death Star are particularly impressive, and the final battle scene is a tense and thrilling spectacle that moves the story forward in a powerful way. Finally, Rogue One's score is one of the movie's significant assets. Composed by Michael Giacchino, the music is an excellent blend of the familiar Star Wars sound and a fresh, unique approach. The score complements the film's emotional beats, particularly in the climactic scenes, making them even more powerful. What's incredible is that the filmmakers were brave enough to kill off pretty much all the principal cast. The movie captures the spirit of the original trilogy, while adding new layers to the story. The engaging characters, breathtaking visuals, and powerful score work together to create a film that is exceptional in its storytelling and execution. It's a perfect bridge between the prequel and sequel trilogies. It makes a great double bill with A New Hope. Overall, Rogue One is an exceptional addition to the Star Wars universe, and is by far the greatest thing to ever come out of the Disney era, in my opinion. And there you have it. 8 great things to come out of the Disney Star Wars era. Do you agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, consider subscribing if you haven't done so already, share it with your friends, click the bell for notifications, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye for now.